How do we get in this situation? Look at what we've got in this country. We've got the ruling elites who absolutely do not care about the country. They do not care about the people of the country. They certainly don't care about the indigenous people of the country. They don't care about the British people. In fact, the British people are demonized all the time. Every single, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this from a racist point of view. If anyone knows me, they know I'm not, that's not the way I work. But the white British working class are a despised majority, not a despised minority, a despised majority. They're despised, not because of the colour of their skin, but because of what they represent. And the elites absolutely hate the British working class and the lower middle class. They despise you with a passion. They despise me with a passion. They despise our history. They despise our country. They despise our culture. And more than anything, they despise our religion. And this is where the problem lies. The problem doesn't lie in culture. The problem doesn't lie in politics. The problem lies in religion and spirituality. Now, this is the truth. And this might be a hard thing to hear. So if you're an atheist, even if you support a lot of what we believe, to be brutally honest with you, you're actually part of the problem. Because how can you oppose the woke, the progressive, the Islamist ideologies that are destroying our country if you have nothing to believe in yourself? And this problem has been a problem for not just the past 10, 20 years, right the way going back to what was called the permissive society in the 1960s, when things like abortion were legalized, when divorce laws were relaxed, when homosexuality was legalized. Now, a lot of people will be horrified with me saying this, but I'm saying it for a specific reason. I don't want to turn the clock back and start banning homosexuals doing whatever they do. Whatever people do in the privacy of their own homes is completely and entirely up to them. But what I am saying is that is where the rot set in society. When legislation was passed to legalize things that the Christian heritage and the Christian culture and the Christian religion had forbidden for 2,000 years. And of course, the abortion issue, a massive, massive problem in the United Kingdom. People wonder why we need migrants to come and fill key roles in the NHS and in different disciplines. Well, it could be due to the fact that we've killed around 250,000 babies a year for the past 40 years, longer, 50 years, for the past 50 years, since the late 1960s. That is a Holocaust. It is an absolute genocide against British children. It's evil. I just can't say anything else. To me, it is evil, it is wrong. And then we wonder, when we look at what we've done, when we look at the evil that we carried out, and I'm not standing here in a judgmental sense saying I'm better than anyone else, because I'm not. Because, listen, I've fallen away from God. I know what that's like. I know the devastation it brings. But when an entire nation falls away from God, the devastation is even worse. When one man falls away from God, the devastation it wreaks on his family and on himself is catastrophic. It's as simple as that. When a nation falls away from God, it's far worse. What does the Bible say? The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. Now, I know this might sound very preachy, but it's not, because I blame myself as part of the problem. So I'm not looking at people saying, oh, you should be like me, because you don't want to be like me. But what I am saying is we all, as a nation, need to turn back to God. We can look at culture and we can say, well, we need a cultural renewal. We need to get back to British culture. We can look at politics and say, well, we need a right-wing political party that'll do this, this, and this. If that is not grounded in the Christian faith, it will fail. If our culture is not grounded in the Christian faith, it will fail. If you and I are not grounded in the Christian faith, we will fail. And eventually, eternally, and catastrophically eternally. So the truth of the matter is that the only thing that will save our country is a spiritual revival, a Christian revival, where people en masse turn back to God. That is the only thing that's going to help. All the rest of it it's just in the wind. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It might put a sticking plaster on things. Things might get better for a few years. But again, when people revert to type, it will be a disaster. The only thing that will save the United Kingdom is people in their millions turning back to God. And that starts from the top in the Church of England. The Church of England is a failed institution. It is institutionally atheistic. It is institutionally secular, and it's meant to be a church. They've even decided they don't want to use the word church anymore. So as a nation, as a people, and as individuals, and I include myself in this, and once you've gone away from God, it's very difficult to get back, but I include myself in this, we all need to return and come back to God. That's what we need. That's what the nation needs. Yes, and we need political movements, and yes, we need cultural movements, but we've got to get the building blocks right, and the foundation of our nation was Christianity. And we've got to turn back to that by the millions and see our country saved. Okay, rant over.